Hi everyone, I am Rajendra Survase, Assistant Professor at Loknethe Dr. J.D. Power College of Pharmacy, Kadwan, Nasik. Today we are going to discuss the lyophilization basics part 2. So in this video, we will discuss the various parameters of lyophilizer, principle of freeze drying process, freeze drying equipments, essential components, various application of freeze drying, and the different excipients and polymer used in a lyophilized the product. See, the various parameters of lyophilizer. Generally, uh, the phase, triple point, eutectic point, eutectic temperature, latent heat of fusion, and latent of sublimation. So these are the various parameters generally used to describe the lyophilization, a process. See, what is a phase? A phase is defined as any homogeneous and a physical part of system which is bounded by surface and is mechanically separated from the other part of the system. So it's called as a phase. Then a triple point, it is a point where a three phases, namely liquid, solid and vapor phase. Okay, vapor phase, solid phase and liquid phase means these three phases coexist at a particular a temperature and pressure. This point is known as a triple point. Then eutectic point, what is the eutectic point? The components are completely miscible with one another in the liquid state. They do not form any compound, and on solidification they give rise merely to an intimate eutectic mixture, and the temperature at which this process occur known as eutectic point. Eutectic temperature, the temperature at which all areas of concentrated solutes are a frozen is known as the eutectic temperature. Then the next a term or parameter is latent heat of fusion. It is the amount of heat necessary to convert a unit mass of a substance from a solid state to liquid state at a temperature and the pressure being to allow the coexistence of the two phases are known as the latent heat of fusion. And last one, the latent of sublimation. It is the amount of heat necessary to convert a substance from a solid state to gaseous state at same temperature is known as the latent of a sublimation. So these are the very important terminologies or the parameter used in a lyophilizer or the process of freeze drying. Now, see the principle of a freeze drying process. Basically, this freeze drying principle is followed by the sublimation, or also called as the primary drying, and the second desorption, or also called as a secondary drying. Means a primary drying sublimation and secondary drying desorptions. So these are the two important steps involving in a freeze drying a process. Now uh, the basic of this freeze drying process is depend on or based on a triple point of water. So I told you what is a triple point. A triple point means the three phases like liquid, solid and vapor phases the coexist at a particular temperature and a pressure. So this is the triple point. Here this solid phase, then a liquid phase and the vapor phase or gas phase coexist at this point, and this point therefore called as a triple point of water at particular a temperature and a pressure. Okay, now this point A, O, B, C. So let's discuss the actual the basics of freeze drying process or the principle involving in this process. So this freeze drying is a very important pharmaceutical technology for drying of a heat sensitive drug at a low temperature. Because as you know that suppose the drug is highly sensitive to the heat, means at a higher temperature, suppose the drug going to degrade, so we cannot follow this process or method for the preparation of particular formulations. So therefore, for heat sensitive drug, this freeze drying process at a low temperature is suitable for those API or biological proteins and peptide. Now, see, the lyophilization is performed at a temperature and a pressure condition below the a triple point to enable a sublimation of I. Means convert the solid state to the vapor state. Okay, directly the conversion of a solid state to the vapor state. So definitely this freeze drying is performed a work at a temperature and a pressure condition below the a triple point. Now you can see in the figure the boundary AO, which is known as the sublimation pressure curve, okay, for ice means solid, indicate the condition for the coexistence of vapor and solid phases in equilibrium, and a mass of ice is directly converted to vapor phase by heating, that means the primary drying. Okay, heating provided that a pressure is kept below the triple point. Okay, and sublimation of water can take place at a pressure and temperature below triple point, that is a 4.58 mm of Hg, that is the pressure, and 0.0099 degrees Celsius, that is the temperature below the triple point of water. Okay, pressure as well as the temperature. As I said, this lyophilization is performed at temperature and pressure condition below the triple point. So the pressure will be 4.58 mm of Hg at temperature point 9 0.0099 degrees Celsius. Now, this component to be dried is first frozen. That means the sublimation process start, and then subjected under a high vacuum to heat so that the frozen liquid sublimes to vapor form, and the concentration gradient of water vapor between the drying font and condenser is the driving force for removal of water during lyophilization. Means the second step, that means the desorption secondary drying, means remaining 5 to 10% moisture will be dried at this point or at this stage. Okay, desorption will start, and the vapor pressure of water increases with an increase in temperature during the primary drying. Uh, the primary drying temperature should be kept as high as possible, but below the critical pressure temperature to avoid loss of cake structure. Lot of loss of avoid a cake structure of the lyophilized product, and this critical process temperature is the collapse temperature for amorphous substance or eutectic melt for the crystalline substances. Okay, so these are the the basic principle involving in a lyophilization process. And during this primary drying and secondary drying means during this freeze drying process, uh, means I have already discussed the various steps involving in this process, like the pre-treatment, the freezing, then primary drying, secondary drying, and finally formation of a final product. Freeze drying the equipment. See, these are the categories of freeze dryer. First is the manifold freeze dryer, then the rotary freeze dryer, the tray style of freeze dryer. So these are some types of freeze dryer generally used in the various industry for the preparation of freeze dry the product. But the two components are very common to all these types of freeze dryer. The vacuum pump to reduce the ambient gas pressure in a vessel containing the substance to be dried, and the condenser to remove the moisture by condensation on a surface cooled to minus 40 degrees Celsius to minus 80 degrees Celsius. So vacuum pump to reduce the ambient gas pressure, and the condenser to remove the moisture by condensation on a surface cold. Okay, so these are the very important component in every the type of freeze dryer, means the manifold consisting vacuum as well as the condenser, rotary and tray style freeze dryer. So let's discuss one by one in brief what is the manifold freeze dryer. In this short, usually circular tube is used to connect the multiple container with the dried product to a condenser. Okay, and this is the typical diagram of freeze dry process consisting the various components. That means the thermal fluid. This is the chamber. These are the product container. Okay, placed on the trays. This is the refrigeration system. This is the vacuum, and this is the condenser. Means ice condenser. So vacuum and the condenser is common, the component of every freeze dry the process. So this manifold freeze dryer, the rotary and tray freeze dryer have a single large reservoir for the dry substances, but in manifold freeze dryer are usually used in the laboratory setting when drying liquid substances in a small container, and when the product will be used in a short period of time. So in that cases the manifold freeze dryer will be a suitable dryer for the formation of uh, this product. Next is a rotary freeze dryer. These are usually used for drying pellets, cubes, and other pourable substances. The rotary dryer have a cylindrical reservoir that is rotated at drying during drying to achieve a more uniform drying throughout the substances or throughout the processes. So this is about the in brief introduction to rotary freeze dryer. And the last one is a very popular, widely used in industry. These usually have a rectangular reservoir with shelves on which a product such as the pharmaceutical solutions and tissue extract can be placed in a different trays, vials and other the container. These tray style freeze dryers are typically larger than the manifold dryers and are more sophisticated, are used to dry a variety of material. Means you can formulate the different or variety of lyophilized product in this tray style freeze dryer, used to produce the driest product for a long term storage as compared to the manifold or rotary freeze dryer. So these tray dryer used to produce the driest product for a long term storage and can dry the products in a bulk or in a vial or other container. Means You can dry the product which is available in a bulk form or in a vial, means small batches, or in any other container. So this is about the different categories or the types of freeze dryer equipment. Now see, the what are the essential or very important components of freeze dryer? In this figure you can see the various components, and these are the importance component, means the refrigeration system, the vacuum system, control system, product chamber, or manifold, condenser. So these are the main component of freeze drying the equipment. The radiant heat a source, the frozen product, the different trays, the drying chamber, refrigeration unit, this is the ice condenser, and the vacuum pump. Okay, so these are the importance of essential components of every freeze dryer equipment. So let's see one by one in brief. The chamber, this is the vacuum tight box, sometimes called as the lyophilization, a chamber, or also called as a cabinet. And the chamber contains shelves for a processing product. The chamber can also fit with a stoppering system, and it is typically made of a stainless steel material. SS, high quality SS, is used to make such a type of chamber, and usually highly polished on the inside and insulated on the other side, outside. The door locking arrangement by a hydraulic or electric motor. So this is about the chamber component. Second, shelves. The shelves acts as a heat exchanger or removing energy from the product during a freezing or during primary or secondary drying, and supplying energy to the product during the primary and secondary drying segments of the freeze drying the cycle. Next component is a process condenser. This process condenser is sometimes referred as just the condenser or the cold trap. It is designed to trap the solvent which is used in this feed suspension or the formulation, and which is usually water during the drying process, sometimes the methanol or any other co-solvent used. So this is very important, which type of which kind of solvent which is used in this preparation. So this process condenser will consist of a coils or sometimes plates which are refrigerated to allow a temperature. So this is about the process condenser. Then shelf fluid system. The freeze drying process required that the product is first frozen, and then energy in the form of heat is applied throughout the drying phases of the cycle. This energy exchange is traditionally done by circulating a fluid through the shelves at a desired temperature. Refrigeration system, next component. The product to be freeze dried is either frozen before into the dryer or frozen while on the shelves. The compressor or sometimes liquid nitrogen supplies the cooling energy. Vacuum system, to remove the solvent in a reasonable time, vacuum must be applied during the drying process, and control system may be entirely or usually fully automatic for the production of the lyophilized product by using this equipment, and the control elements required are the mentioned above, that means the temperature, pressure, and the time. So these are the various components, essential components of different categories of the freeze dried equipment. Now, what are the different applications of freeze drying processes? Like pharmaceutical industries in parental formation of parental dosage form, preservation of different materials, in bacteriology, or in bio separation. So let's say one by one. In pharmaceutical companies often use the freeze drying process to increase the stability of product or shelf life of a product, such as the vaccines, proteins and peptides, biological products, and other many injections or antibiotics. So this is a very important the application of freeze drying process. Next is by removing the water from material and sealing the material in a vial. The material can be easily stored, then shipped and later reconstituted or diluted to its original form for injection. Means before uh, the administration of this injection, we can get the final form of a particular injection. Means for injection, after dilution we will get the solution. Okay, for suspension, after dilution we will get the parental suspension, etc, etc. Next is a parental application of NADH in a Parkinson diseases. That means the clinical improvement partially due to stimulation of endogenous levodopa biosynthesis. Then the preservation of temperature, highly temperature sensitive product, particularly those of biological origin such as the enzymes, blood plasma, vaccines, etc, etc. So this is again very important application. In bacteriology, it is used to conserve the special strain. In chemical synthesis, products are often freeze dried to make them more stable or easier to dissolve in water for subsequent uses of these preparations. In bioseparations, freeze drying can be used as a late stage purification procedures because it can effectively remove the solvent from the mixture. So these are the some important application of freeze drying the process. Now, what are the different excipients or ingredient is used in a lyophilized formulation, such as the buffers, bulking agents, stabilizer, tonicity, modified, etc., etc. Say the design of lyophilized formulation is based on the requirement of the API and intended route of administration. Okay, so definitely the development of any lyophilized formulation is based on the physicochemical properties of the API, means drug molecule, and intended a route of a drug administration. So therefore, a formulation may consist of one or more excipient for this stability purpose. Okay, these are the different means a buffer, bulking agent, stabilizer, or any tonicity modifier, especially in case of the parental dosage form, is used for the stabilizations. So a formulation may consist of one or more excipient at proper concentration, such as the buffers or pH adjusters, bulking agent, stabilizer, or tonicity modifiers. Buffers are used in lyophilized formulation to maintain the pH. Phosphate buffer, citrate buffer, or histidine buffer are commonly used in a low concentration that undergoes the minimum pH changes during the freeze drying, means primary drying and a secondary drying, desorption or sublimation processes. Then the bulking agents are used in the formulation containing a very low concentration of active ingredients. Okay. Uh, or mannitol also used as a bulking agent. Okay, so these are the some examples of excipients which is used in a lyophilized the formulations. Thank you very much for watching this video.